about 2 feet, and it's like he waved at me, and my hook popped out, bloop, and I ain't seen that fish again.
The colors changing in the fall, a big old buck hanging on my wall. Largemouth bass fishing in the spring, the peace to my soul that it brings. A better life no rich man can afford. So we'll see y'all later in the great outdoors.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Rod and Staff Outdoor Ministry studio. I'm Robbie.
I'm Jesse.
Man, we're going to have a good time. We're basically going to have a storytelling Sunday today. Before we start, I want to just once again encourage you, if you get something good out of our videos, I would ask you to subscribe to the channel and like us, give us a comment, and a big shout out to all my students who watch on TikTok. My daughter does the TikTok thing, so if you're watching this, give me a comment, leave your nickname in the comment, that way I'll know who you are. But we're going to have a good time today. And like I said, we're going to have a storytelling Sunday. And we'll tell you, before we're done, we'll tell you kind of how that first fishing tournament went and what to expect for the next one. But Jesse has volunteered to start with the first story, and he's already kind of briefed me on. I think y'all going to get a kick out of this. Jesse?
Yeah, so talking about the fishing tournament before I get into my story, our next tournament is at Coatill.
Better bring you a jacket.
Hold on. Yeah. So I'm going to make sure I have extra clothes. I'm going to set an alarm, a timer for my plug in my boat, you know. So, I mean, me and Coatill don't have a real good reputation. We're going to try to change that this year.
Hey, that tournament last year, y'all, if you wasn't there, you don't know what we're talking about. It was supposed to get into the 70s that day, and it didn't get out of the 50s. Tom Convica was wrong on that one. But Jesse gave the devotion, and I think he about shattered his teeth out of his head giving the devotion at the weigh-in. So
it was definitely chilly with that wind.
You gonna wear Crocs with no socks?
Negative, Ghost Rider. I'm gonna look like an Eskimo when I show up. But no. So my story I wanted to share with you, like Brother Robbie said, is about my first deer hunt. And you know, being young, us guys, a lot of times we don't want to ask for help. We want to act like we know everything. And
well, we've got it together.
Well, yeah, of course. And and then to top that off, it was with my future pa-in-law at the time. So of course, you know, I ain't trying to impress nobody, but this the man, I want to marry his daughter, you know, right? So anyway, he takes me hunting. I love my family. We just wasn't raised hunting and fishing. So of course I knew nothing, but I wasn't gonna let anybody know that. Borrowed a stand, borrowed a gun, went to the infamous West Bay that I knew nothing about. So he tells me, you need some help? I said, no, I got it. I got it. And he points me in the direction, so I take off, get all my stuff just like I know what I'm doing. Get to where I think is where he sent me to, but it's where I ended up at. So I picked out a tree, and we're hunting on the edge of a clear cut. Now, I said I borrowed a gun, right? Not what you need to hunt in a clear cut. It was a shotgun, okay? So I'm already behind the 8-ball. Anyway, I picked out this tree to where I think is a good in a little nook in a pocket. So if they come in, they're going to be close enough in my mind. Well, sitting there before daylight, and I see a light coming. So I'm like, well, is that my pa-in-law coming? I said, no, he said he was going to the other way. So I flashed the light. Anyway, they was good sportsmen. They turned and went off. So, you know, pa-in-law was on the other side of the clear cut. It breaks daylight. Here I am, like, Lord, let me see a deer. I just want to shoot something, you know. Sure enough, deer walks out, and I was like, well, thank you, Lord. So me and this old trusty shotgun, we cut down on this deer, and it just looks around like, what was that? So anyway, I send another round to it. Anyway, I unload this shotgun on it. It runs out here, falls over. I'm like, yeah, I got it. So pa-in-law, he's like, all right, I'm going to come over to you. And I stay in the stand. He comes over. He's like, where's it at? I explain it to him. He goes out in this clear cut. He's looking at this deer, and he looks at me. He looks at this deer. He said, where'd you shoot it at? I said, I just aimed at, you know, the majority of the body and pulled trigger. I think I give it a heart attack. And it run out there, broke his leg, and died because we ain't found a bullet hole yet.
When y'all skin it, no bullet hole?
No, nothing. And I mean, you can't make this up. I wish I had a better story to tell for my first deer, but sad but true. So anyway, his deers significantly could eat mine. Okay, that part I'm not too proud of. It's so big when we get to these mandatory checks. The first thing we do, we throw it up on them scales. I'm like, that's my first deer. I'm proud of it. Game warden just walks by and does like this. And I know, he looking for spots.
Uh-huh.
So not only did I not have a good kill, it was a kill nonetheless. It wasn't the biggest, but it was legal. So said all that to say this, just like that hunter walked in, sometimes we act like we know what's going on. But really and truly, it's God's plan, right?
Yeah.
And I ain't talking about just the hunt. I'm just talking about life in general. And when we put Christ first and we put forth the effort to serve him, I believe he honors that. And I believe in just the foolishness of a young boy's heart wanting to kill a deer. I thank God let me have that opportunity. So, it comes a point in time where you got to make a stand. You're going to live for the world or you're going to live for Christ. And that morning, me claiming my stand, flashing that light at that other hunter, that was a representation of, to me, looking back on it now, that could be represent me making a stand on Christ, just like I do today. So, and I really and truly believe that if we honor him, seek to honor him and do his will, that he's going to glorify and edify that. And I just thank the Lord every day for the blessings that I'm so unworthy of, but yet he chooses to bless me anyway. And it's amazing what God does for us.
He's so good to us.
He is, brother.
Man. Now, I think that was me that you shined off, because
it might have been.
Which I was going to shoot the deer that came out behind that one, because I'd let that little one go, and then Big Daddy was coming.
That's probably what was back behind it. So
we got to take a stand, and I've learned over the years, Jesse, that God knows how to connect the dots and make the puzzle pieces fit together. If we just be obedient and honor him, like you said,
for sure, and
stand on what we know of him, then he's able to take that obedience and do way more than we could ever do.
Absolutely.
That's good stuff. My story is really quick, and it's about the big one that got away. Anybody ever had a big one that got away, whether it's a deer, a fish, or whatever? I went fishing yesterday, and I've been having trouble for whatever reason landing fish. I can hook them, get them on the hook, and most of them are getting off. So I'd already lost 3 or 4 fish. Well, I set the hook on one, and I look, and man, it is a good one. It was probably about a 5-pounder. And I 1,000 things went through my mind all at once, and all I wanted to do was hurry up and get that fish in the boat. And instead of taking my time and getting the net, I just tried to boat flip a 5-pounder, and I got it up out of the water about 2 feet, and it's like he waved at me, and my hook popped out, bloop, and I hadn't seen that fish again. And I could have got all upset, but you know what I did? Put me another bait on and kept casting.
Yep.
And whether it's like Jesse was talking about, our need to take a stand, or whether it's just our need to keep casting when things don't go our way. These stories from the outdoors, y'all, they give us a lot of things that we can have some spiritual insights into if we'll just allow the Lord to do that for us. So whether the big one gets away, or whether you gave the deer a heart attack, or whatever it might be, take these lessons from the outdoors and let it be some stuff that draws you closer to the one who loves us so much that he died to save us.
Amen.
And that's Jesus, y'all.
That's
and
right.
I hope all these little stories from the outdoors point you towards him. Maybe to give you a laugh in the process, but let it all point you towards Jesus. Y'all, I've had a good time hanging out with you, Jesse.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the story. I wonder if you can do a backdated autopsy on a deer and see what killed it.
Hey, I don't know. It's going to be hard to track that one down.
Well, y'all, it's been a good time. I hope y'all have enjoyed this. Subscribe to the channel, comment. We'll see y'all later in the great outdoors.
God's given me a pretty fair hand, got a house and a piece of land.